Ladies, let's have an honest conversation for a moment. If you're over 40 and navigating the dating world, you've probably felt like the deck is stacked against you. Maybe you've heard people say things like, all the good men are taken, or men only want younger women. But what if I told you that everything you've been led to believe about dating after 40 is not just wrong? It's actually keeping you from attracting the incredible, high-quality men who are out there looking for exactly what you have to offer. Hi, I'm Your Name, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you the one thing, yes, just one psychological principle, that older women who consistently attract the best men understand. And I promise you, it's not about looking younger, dressing differently, or playing games. This is about something much deeper and infinitely more powerful. We're going to explore real research, examine actual case studies, and I'm going to give you practical strategies that you can implement immediately to transform your dating life. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into the psychology of attraction, self-worth, and why your age might actually be your greatest dating advantage. Let's start with the elephant in the room. I know that many of you have felt invisible in the dating world, and you're not alone in feeling this way. According to a comprehensive 2023 dating trends survey conducted by eHarmony, over 68% of women above 40 admitted they believed their chances of attracting a high-value partner were significantly lower than when they were younger. That's more than 2/3 of mature women who have internalized this devastating belief. But here's what's really happening. Somewhere along the way, our society convinced us that a woman's worth is directly tied to her youth, her smooth skin, her ability to turn heads in a crowded room, or the number of compliments she receives from strangers. And when you internalize this belief, it creates a domino effect that impacts every aspect of how you show up in relationships. You become cautious where you should be confident. You second-guess yourself when you should trust your instincts. And without even realizing it, you might start settling for far less than you deserve. Here's where the real danger lies, and this is crucial to understand. When you carry this insecurity about your age, it doesn't just affect your confidence, it actually pushes away the exact kind of man who would value, respect, and cherish you, and worse, it acts like a magnet for the wrong types of men, men who are emotionally unavailable, men who want to control or manipulate you, men who aren't looking for a real, meaningful connection, but are instead seeking someone they can easily manage or take advantage of. But here's the good news, and this is where everything changes. It's not about your age. It never was. It's about what you believe about your age and how you choose to use your life experience as the incredible advantage it actually is, the cost of not understanding. Let's talk about what happens when you don't understand this principle. When you don't realize the power you actually possess, you start tolerating half-hearted relationships that drain your energy and diminish your spirit. Maybe you've been on dates where you felt like you were interviewing for a job, having to prove your worth, justify your attractiveness, or demonstrate your value. Maybe you've found yourself with men who ghost you after a few weeks, leaving you wondering what you did wrong, replaying every conversation, analyzing every text message, or perhaps you've accepted breadcrumbs of affection from men who only reach out when it's convenient for them, who make last-minute plans, who never fully commit but string you along with just enough attention to keep you hoping. The problem in these scenarios is never about your age. It's about what you accept and what you expect from the men in your life. A groundbreaking 2018 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology followed over 500 women across different age groups and found something remarkable. Women who exhibited high levels of self-assuredness and emotional independence, regardless of their age, were consistently perceived by men as more attractive, more interesting, and more desirable for long-term relationships. Yet so many women over 40 fall into the trap of undervaluing themselves. They tone down their personality to keep a man interested. They avoid speaking their mind to avoid being labeled as difficult or high maintenance. They accept inconsistent behavior because they fear starting over, believing that options become limited with age. And here's the tough pill to swallow. The best men, the emotionally mature, relationship-ready, high-value men, are actually repelled by this behavior. Why? Because high-value men don't want a woman who's desperate to please everyone. They don't want someone who's trying to shrink themselves to fit into someone else's expectations. They want a woman who knows exactly who she is, what she wants, and isn't afraid to lose a man who can't offer her what she deserves. The one thing revealed. So what is this one thing that older women who attract the best men understand? They understand the incredible power of personal standards. Yes, standards, not preferences, not wish lists, not romantic fantasies, non-negotiable personal standards for how they want to be treated, spoken to, and valued in a relationship. Let's be absolutely clear about this. Standards aren't about being picky, difficult, or impossible to please. They're about having clear boundaries and expectations that are rooted in genuine self-respect and self-worth. And this is what separates older women who settle for crumbs from those who attract high-value men effortlessly and consistently. I want to share with you a fascinating case study conducted by renowned relationship expert Matthew Hussey. He tracked the dating experiences of 100 women aged 40 to 60 over a 6-month period, and the results were absolutely eye-opening. Half the group was coached to actively communicate and uphold their relationship standards from the very beginning. These women learned to state early on what they expected in terms of communication frequency, respect, emotional availability, and exclusivity. The other half continued dating as usual, without setting firm standards or clear expectations. The results were dramatic. At the end of the study, the group with clear standards attracted significantly higher quality partners, with over 70% entering committed, emotionally healthy relationships. They reported higher satisfaction, better communication, and stronger emotional connections. The other group experienced frequent ghosting, inconsistent partners, emotional unavailability, and overall dissatisfaction with their dating experiences. Why did this happen? Because men, especially the good ones, respect women who respect themselves. When you set standards, you naturally create a filter that screens out the wrong men while attracting the right ones. The psychology behind standards. Let's dive deeper into the psychology of why this works so effectively. When you set and maintain standards, you're sending several powerful psychological signals. First, you're demonstrating self-respect. You're showing that you value yourself enough to have expectations about how you should be treated. This is incredibly attractive to emotionally mature men, because it indicates that you're not needy or desperate. Second, you're creating certainty. In a world full of mixed signals and confusing dating dynamics, a woman who clearly communicates what she wants and expects provides a sense of clarity and direction that men find refreshing and appealing. Third, you're inspiring healthy competition. When a man realizes that he needs to meet certain standards to be with you, it challenges him to show up as his best self. High-value men actually enjoy this challenge because it allows them to demonstrate their worth and commitment. You might be thinking, but won't this scare men away? Yes, it absolutely will, but only the wrong men, and that's exactly what you want. A 2019 relationship psychology report from Stanford University found that men reported feeling more emotionally secure and attracted to women who had clear expectations in relationships. Why? Because confident women with standards create certainty, and certainty is incredibly attractive. It signals to a man that this is a woman who values herself, and by extension, he should too, if he wants to be a part of her life. Men, actually, Find it easier to commit to women who communicate what they need because it eliminates confusion, game playing, and the exhausting guesswork that often characterizes modern dating. The 5 essential standards. Now, let's make this practical. What kind of standards are we talking about? Here are 5 relationship standards that older women who attract the best men consistently uphold. Standard number 1, consistent communication. They don't chase men who go days without calling or texting. If a man is genuinely interested, he makes an effort to stay in touch. Period. Women with standards don't make excuses for lazy communication or accept the "I'm just not a phone person" excuse. They understand that communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Standard number 2, respect for time and commitments. They don't tolerate last-minute cancellations without valid reasons or vague plans like, "Let's hang out sometime." If a man values her, he values her time. This means making concrete plans, showing up when he says he will, and treating her schedule with respect. Standard number 3, emotional availability. They steer clear of men who can't or won't express feelings, refuse to commit, or use excuses like, "I'm not ready for a relationship," while still wanting to enjoy the benefits of one. Mature women understand that they're not emotional rehabilitation centers for broken men. Standard number 4, alignment of values. They prioritize relationships with men who share similar values about life, family, future goals, and what they want from a relationship. Not just fleeting chemistry or physical attraction. They look for compatibility in the things that matter most for long-term happiness. Standard number 5, reciprocity. They don't pour their energy into one-sided relationships. The effort must go both ways, emotionally, physically, and mentally. They pay attention to whether a man is contributing equally to the relationship's growth and development. Here's the crucial part. These women communicate these standards up front, not in an aggressive, ultimatum-driven way, but through their actions, conversations, and consistent behavior. When a man encounters a woman with clear standards, one of 2 things happens. He rises to meet those standards because he recognizes her worth and wants to be worthy of her, or he leaves, making space for someone better. And either way, she wins. Overcoming common objections. I know what some of you might be thinking right now. This sounds great in theory, but I'm worried about being too demanding. Or what if I end up alone? Let me address these concerns directly. First, there's a huge difference between having standards and being demanding. Standards are about how you want to be treated. Being demanding is about trying to control someone else's behavior. Standards come from self-respect. Demands come from insecurity. Second, the fear of being alone often keeps us in relationships that are worse than being single. A 2020 study by the American Psychological Association found that women who were single by choice reported higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction than women who were in unsatisfying relationships. Remember, you're not trying to attract every man. You're trying to attract the right man. Quality over quantity, always. Third, setting standards doesn't mean you become inflexible or unreasonable. It means you become clear about what you need to feel valued and secure in a relationship. There's a difference between having non-negotiable standards and being open to compromise on preferences. The beautiful thing about understanding this principle is that it transforms your entire approach to dating. Instead of hoping someone will choose you, you become someone who chooses wisely. Implementing your standards. If you've never set clear relationship standards before, it's not too late to start. Here's a simple 3-step process to begin. Step 1. Define your non-negotiables. Take 30 minutes in a quiet space and write down your absolute essentials for feeling valued, secure, and happy in a relationship. Not your wish list or romantic fantasies, but your fundamental needs. Think about communication, respect, emotional availability, shared values, and reciprocity. Step 2. Communicate early and naturally. On your first few dates, naturally bring up topics like communication styles, relationship expectations, and life goals. Pay attention to how he responds. Does he engage thoughtfully, or does he seem uncomfortable or dismissive? His response tells you everything you need to know. Step 3. Act on your standards. This is the most important step. If a man doesn't meet your standards, don't justify it. Don't wait for him to change. And don't make excuses. Let him go with grace and dignity. Every time you lower your standards, you teach people how to treat you. When you uphold them, you attract those who admire and respect you. Remember, implementing standards isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about being consistent and honoring your worth. The transformation. When you truly understand and implement this principle, something magical happens. You stop competing with younger women because you realize you're not in the same category. You're offering something completely different: depth, wisdom, emotional maturity, and the confidence that comes from knowing yourself. You stop apologizing for your age and start celebrating the experiences that have shaped you into the incredible woman you are today. You stop settling for men who don't appreciate what you bring to the table and start attracting those who do. The men who are drawn to you are no longer the ones looking for someone to fill a void or boost their ego. They're the ones looking for a true partner, someone to build a life with, someone who challenges them to be better. Your dating life transforms from a series of disappointing encounters to meaningful connections with emotionally mature men who are ready for real love. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about fully embracing who you are and refusing to accept anything less than you deserve. Real-world examples. Let me share some real-world examples of how this plays out. Sarah, 45, used to accept last-minute date requests and men who would disappear for days without explanation. After implementing her communication standards, she attracted David, a 48-year-old divorced father who appreciated her directness and matched her energy. They've been in a committed relationship for 2 years. Jennifer, 52, stopped making excuses for men who were emotionally unavailable or working on themselves. She met Michael, 49, who was ready for a serious relationship and valued her emotional maturity. They married last year. These aren't fairy tales. These are real women who understood their worth and refused to settle for less. The key is consistency. You can't have standards on Monday and abandon them on Friday because you're lonely or because a charming man is paying you attention. Your standards are your foundation. They don't change based on circumstances. The bigger picture, understanding this principle, isn't just about dating success. It's about reclaiming your power and recognizing that your best years aren't behind you. They're ahead of you. Every challenge you've faced, every heartbreak you've survived, every lesson you've learned has prepared you for this moment. You have something that younger women don't have: the wisdom to know what works and what doesn't, the confidence to trust your instincts, and the self-respect to demand what you deserve. The right man isn't looking for someone to fix, control, or manage. He's looking for an equal partner who brings her own strength, wisdom, and joy to the relationship. He's looking for someone exactly like you. Your age isn't your limitation. It's your superpower. Use it wisely. Ladies, if you've stayed with me through this entire video, you're already demonstrating the kind of commitment to yourself that attracts high-quality men. You're investing in your own growth and understanding, and that's exactly the energy that draws the right people into your life. Remember, older women who attract the best men aren't chasing youth, competing with 20-somethings, or playing exhausting dating games. They understand the incredible power of personal standards. They don't compromise their self-respect for attention or validation. They know exactly what they deserve, and they make it crystal clear to the world. In doing so, they don't just attract any men, they attract the right men, the ones who are emotionally mature, ready for real commitment, and capable of loving them fully and completely for exactly who they are. Your age is not your limitation. It's your advantage. Because with every year comes wisdom, and with wisdom comes the beautiful clarity to know exactly what you want and deserve in love. So here's my challenge for you. Use that clarity to set your standards and watch how everything else in your love life transforms. You deserve nothing less than extraordinary love, and the right man is out there looking for exactly what you have to offer. If this video has opened your eyes to new possibilities, please hit that like button. It helps more women discover this empowering message. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest relationship advice and empowerment content. Most importantly, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share one relationship standard you're committing to starting today. Let's support each other in raising the bar and creating the love lives we truly deserve. Your journey to extraordinary love starts with a single decision: to honor your worth. Make that decision today. Until next time, remember, you are enough, you are worthy, and you are exactly what the right man is looking for. See you in the next video.